the fact that the presidential assent had to come through, that's only procedural in nature. But could this be, some more sort of a sentimental positive for the market? Also, how are you playing the GST story, if at all you are? I mean, what is it that you would buy if you were to carry this forward?
So one, there was no doubt about GST passage getting passed with so much support from the state. Now what we need is the nuts and bolts of GST regulation. What will be that revenue neutral rate? The government has been indicating towards 22%. The industrialist has been indicating towards 18%. In excise, we have more than 65 schedules giving differential rates for different items. Now, this all has to be bridged into 4 or 3 or 5 categories. So clearly, before I can take an investment decision, I need to see what is the revenue neutral rate, how items are classified. On a broad basis, one can say that, as we become one nation, one market, clearly logistic cost will fall. So logistics-related companies will do well, but that's already priced in. We will also see some of the higher tax-paying sectors like automobile, media, entertainment probably benefit because their taxation rate will come down. On the other hand, some other sectors where taxation rates are low probably will suffer if taxation rate indeed goes up. But we need to get to the nuts and bolts and nitty-gritties of GST before taking that call.
Nilesh, my final question to you. At these heady levels, if you were to buy something fresh, what would it be? And how do you look at the massive drubbing that telecom is receiving for obvious reasons, and the fact that the biggest IT companies in this country are now sounding very cautious on their bread and butter business?
So on the telecom side, there is one nice Gujarati saying that when elephants are dancing, it's far better to watch from outside rather than inside the ring. There are many other sectors and many other companies which are available today. I'm sure at some point of time, telecom stocks will bottom out and provide great opportunity, but let the clarity come before one can enter. On the technology side, clearly we are in a massive transition. Many of Indian IT companies were focused on low end of the work in terms of providing manpower for doing application-related work, infrastructure management-related work. Many of the companies have made a small beginning to move into consulting side, into product side, into gaming side, into digital space. Now this pot, albeit is growing at a faster pace, but the base is so small that it's not materially impacting the market capitalization. I think it is for the time being, it's time to be underweight technology sector and then search for that company which will be able to make an impact in digital space, product space, consulting space, gaming space. You will get your investment in that transition, but for the time being, it's time to be underweight technology space.
All right, Nilesh, appreciate you joining us on the show. Thanks so much for giving us those views on those sectors. Now, Ambareesh, I'll repeat more of those questions, to you as well, to get your sense on this. The way IT is going through its transition, telecom's going through its transition. So what do you buy at 29,000 on the index?
See, first of all, if you see the last, I think, 9 to 12 months, I have been saying be underweight on telecom, especially Bharti and Idea. And right through, every time you used to ask me the question, I used to give the same answer, saying that wait for Reliance Jio, that could be disruptive. You will have margins under pressure, so these stocks should fall. And every rise is possibly an opportunity to sell. And that's exactly what we have seen. So even now, I think the next, a year or possibly the next 6 quarters could be difficult for the telecom space overall. So I think this is not the time to, try and buy something just because they have fallen. I think they can fall some more from here once you see the results in black and white over the next couple of quarters. And as far as IT and pharma is concerned, again, I've been talking of those headwinds in the last, 3 quarters. I think it should continue for the next foreseeable 2 to 3 quarters. Okay. But then this possibly could be the time to slowly start buying into the leaders. Again, you shouldn't be buying today whatever you want to buy.
Leaders both in IT and pharma?
No.
Only in pharma?
Only in IT for the time being.
Only
I
in
think
IT.
pharma, one can wait for a while longer.
Okay.
But then I think one should do an SIP. The small investor should do an SIP over the next possibly 9 to 12 months.
Okay.
And one should not buy everything at one shot, because I think it would be painful. I mean, I don't think these stocks will fall much more from here, because
Sure.
again, it has like underperformed.
Sure.
But then it would be painful holding on. So one should do a SIP.